Welcome back. In this lesson we're going to look at voicing dominant chords, dominant seventh chords. I'm going to do this by playing out a particular progression for you and then simply going back and breaking down the different voicing used to sort of give you different ideas of voicing dominant seventh chords. So I'm going to first play the progression and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so the progression starts with a C major seventh chord, which is not a dominant chord, so we're going to skip its voicings. And then it uses a C7 before going to an F, or F major 7, major 9 actually. So this voicing is really a C13, but it's built upon a C dominant 7. So let's take a look at the notes. I have C, G, B flat, D, E, and A. This would work equally well omitting the G and the D. So it retains most of its character, and this character is really, I can surprisingly even omit the C and just retain the 7th, which is B flat, the 3rd, which is E, and the 13th degree, which is A. And this really keeps the flavor, the basic flavor of the chord. This goes into an F major 9. This is an E dominant 7th, but it has some modifications, of course. First of all, it's a sharp 5 or augmented E. This C should have been a B, because this is an E major, but it's augmented. So I'm playing a C here. The notes are E, E, G sharp, C, D, and G. And this goes into an A minor, which then turns into an A9, and you can see I'm playing here an A, E, G, B, C sharp, and E. And these are the root, 5th, flattened 7th, 9th, 3rd, and 5th of the A major scale. This goes into a D9, which is really the same sort of voicing that I just used for the A9. So I have a D, D, F sharp, A, C, and E, which is really just D9 played in its root form. 1st, 3rd, 5th, flattened 7th, and 9th of the D major scale. And then for the G, G7, I use this, which is a G augmented 7th, flattened 9th. So let's take a look at the notes. I'm playing a G, a D, an F, an A flat, B, and I have a 5 sharp, a D sharp, sorry. And these are the following notes of the G major scale. I have the root, the 5th, flattened 7th, flattened 9th, 3rd, and augmented fifth. So this is repeated the second time, and then the third time I just used what's called tritone voicings, which are just the seventh or the flattened seventh and the third of the C major or of the C dominant seventh or F dominant seventh chords. So if I had to play a C dominant seventh, I would just retain the third, which is an E, and the flattened seventh, which is a B flat. And this would be my voicing. I could of course invert it, take the B flat down here, and I could also use this form. So this is called a tritone voicing. And once again, it really keeps the bare minimum sound of this dominant seventh chord. I have the third and I have the flattened seventh, which really give the chord its nature. So this would be a C7, and this would be an F dominant 7. And the way to see it is to simply construct the F dominant 7, have the root, third, fifth, and flattened seventh, and just omit, or just actually keep the third and the flattened 7. And this is the tritone voicing for F dominant 7. I can take this down here, 1 octave, invert the voicing, and get this, E flat and A. So I'm really playing C7, F7, C7, F7, or using the inversions, C7, F7, C7, F7. And I can actually play a blues over this. G7, so I hope this has given you some ideas for voicing dominant seventh chords. And your homework is to simply take these different voicings and transpose them for all of the different chords. For example, take this voicing that we encountered for the C dominant 7 and just start transposing it. So you can play it fluently in all different keys. Or then you can take this voicing for the A9 and say start transposing that. So if somebody would tell you, could you play a D9 for me? You would say, sure, here it is. And that's it. I hope you've learned something interesting, and I'll see you next time.